Hello and welcome everybody. Welcome to the video. You're with Sovereign, or you can just call me Sov as you guys have been. If you're new to the channel, if you've never been here before or watched one of my videos, welcome and thank you very much for taking the time out of your day to check mine out. I appreciate it. Hopefully this will help you. So guys, I have made quite a few building tips and guide and help videos, and they've kind of been a little bit spread out and disorganized, and I've learned a lot since making those.
Yes?
So what I wanted to do this time was kind of
Yeah.
combine all of that information in one easily comprehensive place. And I'm hoping that this will be a good guide for you, if not one of the better ones that you find, and just real straight up and easy for you guys to understand. So this is going to be the first part of the guide, and it's going to be about the bare basic stuff like scrap, how you get it, which I mean is pretty obvious, I know, but ways to make it easier on you, what to do with it, where to store it, how to actually scrap the items, and so on. So let's jump right in and get started with it, guys. Now, salvaging things has become much more important in this particular Fallout. Junk items, especially, not just for things like the junk jet either that launches them as ammunition, but things like this empty paint can or any other objects for that matter, really. Any tools that you find laying around, pots, pans, coffee cups, ashtrays, cigarettes even. I mean, you can get something out of almost anything. So anywhere you go, you're really going to want to focus on what you find there and pick stuff up as you wander around, because almost all of it is going to have a use, especially items made of copper and aluminum. You will be using this resource a lot in this game, and especially with the build mechanics of this game. So anytime you can find something that contains copper and aluminum, it's going to be very, very useful. And of course, you guys may be wondering how in the hell you're going to know if what you have contains copper or aluminum. Well, don't worry about that, guys, because I am going to show you how to find out. Okay, so finding junk items is pretty obvious, but what I'm going to also help you guys with are tips on how you actually salvage the items that you get, how you store them, and different ways that you can make your life easier as far as finding and collecting these items is concerned. So let's start here with your junk tab. Now, in your inventory tab, scroll over to your junk sub-tab. Now, in here, you will of course see all of the junk that you have in your inventory. Now, whichever piece you want to highlight doesn't really matter. We'll highlight the antique globe. If you look over where the image of the globe itself is and look below it, just above the weight and value units, you'll see the actual contents that you can actually salvage from this antique globe, which is 2 units of cork, 2 units of plastic, and 1 screw. Now, bear in mind that specific perks have allowed me to salvage some of this stuff, like the screw, and I will discuss that with you here momentarily. So you can see what items you can get from the junk that is in your inventory. All you need to do is look below it on the right side of the screen. Or you can actually just do the reverse. For me in particular, since I'm on PS4, if I hit L1, you get the component view. So instead of seeing the actual items and then their components, you can see the components and then you can see what items they have come from. So you'll see I have acid, and in my inventory I have an antifreeze bottle and a bag of fertilizer. Those items in my inventory in my junk tab are what contain the acid. And so all of this I have on me right now. Now, something a little bit better for you guys that will help you much, much more. Let's say, for example, I need, I don't know, some fertilizer. So you'll see down there, again, I'm on PS4. So if I hit R1, I can tag it for search. And you'll see that little magnifying glass has just shown up next to the name fertilizer. Now, what this means is anytime I'm out in the world exploring and I hover my cursor over anything that contains fertilizer in it, that magnifying glass will actually show up next to the name of the item. So if I were to hover over a bag of fertilizer, it will show that small magnifying glass icon right next to the name. Now, along with that, something that's even better that you guys definitely should take part in, especially if you plan on doing a lot of building, is the Scrapper perk. Now, this is only a perk with 2 levels, so you can max it out very quickly. The first level, it allows you to get things like more screws and copper and aluminum, more of those rare materials when scrapping items. So items that you normally wouldn't get screws from, like the antique globe, I can now get screws from. And I can get copper out of more items now too, which is super important because copper is very hard to come by, and it's also used in like everything. So you're going to want to need to know how to get copper. And then you'll see here at the second level of scrapper, I can actually salvage even rarer components like circuitry, nuclear material, and fiber optics. But if you look at that last sentence there, you'll see it says items with favorited components are highlighted. And so that brings me back to tagging it for search. So say this item is tagged for search and I enter a room that has a bag of fertilizer laying on the ground. As I approach it, it will actually highlight itself, much in the same way that this workshop bench is actually highlighted. Anything that I have with a tagged ingredient in it will highlight itself for me with the second level of that perk, including any containers. So if I were to approach a container that contained an item that contained one of my tagged items, the entire container would highlight like this and let me know that there is something in there. So, I mean, that is pretty cool, and that is going to come in very, very handy for you guys. Now, one more thing as far as tagging items goes. Now, again, say you do need copper and you want to tag that for search. Obviously, I have no copper in my inventory, so I won't be able to tag it for search here. So all you need to do then is go into your build mode, and items that require a lot of copper are things like statues and things that require power. And so for copper, let's just go to lights. Now I do have copper, but let's pretend I have none. So if I did have no copper, then under there where the materials that I need to build this industrial light with, copper would be grayed out because I, again, hypothetically have none. And when it's like that, again, I have the option down there at the bottom of the screen, tag for search. I would just hit that, and then I can tag it from this menu. So even if you don't have it in your inventory, as long as you don't have any of it, then you can tag it for search if you would like to. So you can still do it from this menu as well. And then also, a very quick and easy thing, guys. A lot of people have asked me the question, how do I specifically scrap my items? You know, they have all these junk items, and they know what they can get from them. Aluminum from an aluminum can, you know, acid and plastic from an antifreeze bottle. But they need to know how to get the items from it. Well, you can do this. Say I want to scrap this. I can drop it. Excuse me, Carla. Rude bitch. She stole my power armor, and she's totally walking around in it, rubbing it in my fucking face. Anyway, professional mode here. So go into build mode when you drop the item on the ground, and you can see down there at the screen, bottom of the screen says scrap. Go ahead and do that. Do you want to? Are you sure? Yeah, cool. Boom. And there we go. I went ahead and just manually scrapped that item. Now, the easier way to do that, because if you come back from a long day of salvaging and you don't want to go through that with every piece of junk in your inventory, very simple, guys. All you need to do is come over to the workshop and don't just activate it, because that'll just put you back into build mode. What you want to do is hit the transfer, whichever button corresponds to your particular platform. And once you do that, there's also a button. Again, it'll correspond to your particular platform. At the bottom there, you can see, for me, it's triangle to store all junk. And then, boom. So it doesn't matter. I could have 1,000 pounds of junk in my inventory. It'll take every bit of it, and it'll throw it here into the workshop. Now, while it's in here, a lot of people might be wondering how that helps me or helps them. And that's very, very simple. When they're in the workshop, if you go to build something, again, let's use copper for an example. Let's say I put a telephone in here, a whole telephone. Telephones have copper in them. I didn't break the telephone down, I just put it in there. And then I go to make a light, and the light needs copper, and I don't have any. Well, it will show that I do have copper, because all it will do is salvage the copper out of that telephone automatically. And so all you need to do is take every little bit of junk that you get, and you can throw it straight into here, and the game will salvage it automatically whenever the components that that item contains are needed. So that's a really, really quick and easy way to do that. You don't need to worry about doing it all manually yourself. It's very, very quick and easy. And then, something else that's very, very important, you guys. These are salvage benches, I believe they're called. Let me double check. Okay, scavenging station, excuse me. And so these are scavenging stations, and you can build these. Let's go to the tab here. Okay, so now you want to go to the crafting tab, and I must have passed it. Wait, maybe it is not the craft. Oh, I'm sorry, it's the resources tab. Excuse me, guys, I apologize. And so go to the resources and then miscellaneous tab, and there she is, the scavenging station. And you really want to at least have one of these in each active settlement of yours. And what you do is you need to assign one settler per active table. So let's go back into build mode here. This is how you do it. So you can go into build mode, and you simply walk over to the settler, and you'll see there I have the command option at the bottom of the screen. And all I'll do is I'll hit that X. I'm not going to do it now simply because she's already assigned, I believe. But you just hit X to command on my platform anyway. And then you just highlight this. Now you'll see right there it says requires, and it shows the image of a person. When there's nobody assigned to it, it will be red. And all these do have someone assigned. So when you have that person highlighted and you choose command, all you need to do is highlight this, hit X, and it will assign them to that. Now it's one person per bench, so I do have 3 different settlers on these. And what that will do is every 24 hours in the game, every game day basically, each settler will put within the workshop over there where I put all my junk items, they will put random amounts of random types of junk items. And so, I mean, it could be something really stupid, you know, like plastic or asbestos or whatever, but you know what, it also could be something really good too, like copper, or nuclear material, you know, fiber optics, stuff like that. Now, this stacks, so I have 3 of these, so 3 settlers each day will put a random amount and a random type of item in the workshop bench. And I have this at all of my active settlements. In fact, I have 4 of them at one of my other settlements that I use more frequently. And so this is a great way for you to be salvaging and collecting junk and scrap without you actually having to salvage and collect junk and scrap. It's a great way to kind of keep things, you know, kind of, self-reliant. So it's really, really good. I highly recommend those. And then finally, guys, before we end this help video, one more thing. If you go to the map, and you'll see down there at the bottom I have the option to show supply lines. I'm going to do that. Now, if you don't have supply lines, obviously you won't see any of these lines. But for example, when I began the game, Sanctuary was my primary place. This is where I did all my building and so on. And so I had all my good scrap and all that here. And then if I wanted to build where I'm building now, right here on Testicle Island, I call it Testicle Island because I'm a big kid, then what I would have to do is go all the way back here and gather as much scrap as I could without over encumbering myself, and fast travel all the way back and just drop it off. Keep doing that trip after trip, loading screen after loading screen. And that's no way to live. That is no way to live. That is no way to game. And so what you can do is, if you go back into build mode again, come over to a settler who's completely and utterly retarded and does not know how to step up on something. And you'll see there I also have the option supply line at the bottom. And again, this is R1 for my specific console. And all you do is you hit R1 on this person. I'm not going to do it because she's already assigned again. But you hit that button and it will pull up on the left side of the screen a menu which will list all of the settlements that you currently have at your disposal. And all you really do is you assign this person. Now, when you assign a person a supply line, that will be their job. They won't actually leave the camp or anything like that. They will walk around looking like they're doing nothing, but that will actually be their job, so you won't be able to assign them to anything else. But when you do that, then you can go into your map and you can see the supply line that you made. So you can choose from the list that pops up. You can choose, you know, Testicle Island, and it'll make a supply line through here all the way back up to Sanctuary. And what that will do is each settlement will now share the same junk and scrap. So anything you put in the workbench over here, you can get out of the workbench all the way down here. And anywhere else that's connected for that matter. So guys, definitely do that too. I mean, it is a great thing to have. The only small hiccup is you do need a perk to do that. And that is the local leader perk. In order to do supply lines, you have to have rank 1 in the local leader perk. Once you have that, you can do it. And as you see, I have rank 2 here of local leader, which will allow me to build stores and workstations at workshop settlements. And that can actually bring in money for your settlements. And there are specific vendors in the game that you can eventually get to man the stores that you build. And some of these vendors have some of the best items in the game. So, guys, that's going to be it for this one. I hope this stuff helped you. As far as I know, this is really all you need to know about scrap, how to get it, how to make it easier for you to get it. And you know what? I have some videos floating around the ether that will show you some good places to find specific kinds of scrap too, like aluminum and copper. And I really do hope this was helpful for you. If it was, please do hit the like button because it really helps me and helps our community grow as a whole. And also, if you're brand new and this is the first time you've come here, thank you again. If you made it this far, you're excellent. Thank you for that too, for giving me your time. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you take off, seriously. And don't just hit it and run away and never come back to us. Come on back. I'm making content all the time, and most of my videos are by viewer request because I'm here for you guys, and I wouldn't have it any other way. So thank you so much for watching, for taking the time out of your day. Again, if you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it if somebody else needs the help and you think this video could help them. Sharing it is a great way to help me help you. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys very soon. Love to every single one of you guys. You guys have a good night. Goodbye.